Welcome back to another edition of Expansion of Consciousness. I'm your host, Jason Medlock, and we have a very exciting segment here for you today. We're going to have one of the top spiritual teachers in the world talk to us a little bit and share, principles of law, principles of balance, unity. This is going to be fabulous because this gentleman is very, very, very deep in spiritual teachings and works in a number of universal laws and principles. So I'm excited to bring on Tim. But let me tell you a little bit about Tim, Mr. Doyle, in a few moments. Tim is a spiritual teacher and guide who shares the channeling teachings of the golden ones based on universal laws and principles of harmony, balance, order, and unity for the greater good. The golden ones have channeled their teachings on purpose of life for each soul born here on earth. Earth is a spiritual training school, and wow, do we know that all too well on this show. And the golden ones' teachings will assist the soul in the comprehension of their path and ascension to their next level of soul development. While now retired and settled in China after a 35-year career in the corporate world and in the United States, Tim now is an ordained minister in metaphysics. He's also a Reiki Master, Certified Kundalini Instructor, and an author. Since 1972, Tim has been a student of the Golden Ones. As Tim explains, the Golden Ones are the co-creators of God's administrators of Earth Spiritual Hierarchy Training School, sanctioned by the Galactic Council. They teach aspects and processes of manifestation using conscious mind, subconscious mind, interactions with the universal mind, and attuning to the heart of the mind God. I'm going to go ahead and bring on our guest, Mr. Tim Doyle. Hello, Tim. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for the introduction.
No problem. You know, I could have gone on and on and on with your introduction, and you know, it could have gone on and on and on. But I'm so glad that you've given me an opportunity to speak with you. Just over the years, you've done a number of things, and I know that you've received many visitations from beings that you call the golden ones. And there's just a lot of things we can unwrap, UFO encounters that you've had, out of body experiences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off and say, Tim, tell the audience who you are and talk about some of the things that you're doing.
Well, thank you, Jason. Currently, I was taught back in 1983 when I was going for my metaphysical minister training, how to connect to, there's a frequency in the brain I call it the God frequency, that once you connect, you're always connected to the mind of God. And universal mind is constantly talking to each soul in every moment, but we're not listening. And so they taught me back in 1983 how to listen, how to discipline my thinking and weed out the non-essential thoughts and feelings and get rid of those, clean your light body so that you can just tune into the pure thoughts of life. And so since 1983, it's like riding a bicycle. Once you go through the training, it's a 28-day program. It took me 28 days. And I thought about it and I put the program on my website. It's a 28-day program that will teach the soul how to discipline themselves in every moment so they can learn to listen to the universal mind and guidance on whatever guidance you want. It's a two-way conversations. You talk and they respond, and it's all with thoughts. You can speak or you can just send them a thought and they reply almost immediately with your answer. So I used to meditate a lot, but now that I'm always in tune with them, I don't meditate as much unless I really have a situation and I need to sit down and talk to them, have a powwow with them. So currently I'm in China, and I was in 2014, the Golden Ones asked me to move to China. At that time, I wrote 2 books based on their teachings. I channeled 2 of their teachings, and they told me to come to China to write the 3rd teachings, which I did probably in 2019. I can't remember when I finished that book. But currently in China, I teach English. Jason, I teach English to a one-on-one to Chinese students, and they are the cutest, loving little kids in the well. All children are beautiful.
Beautiful.
But these kids are so intelligent and funny. And the misconception in America with the propaganda about China is not true, and so forth. China is a very beautiful country. The people are humble, hardworking, and their children's education is their number 1 priority.
Right.
And I didn't come here to teach English, but because I speak English, the Chinese parents wanted me to teach them English, and it forced me to become a very knowledgeable English teacher. So my teaching English is probably better than most teachers in America teaching English, because I have to be the best.
Right.
So that's currently what I'm doing now. And while I'm talking, I do students 6 to 15, and I get a chance to talk to them if anything's bothering fears. Fears is something that's in the subconscious mind, and there's a tool to remove a fear immediately. Some of these students have attachments from ancestors. They're not ghosts, they're trapped souls. And at the time of a death, a soul does not have to leave to go to the next realm. They have free will. And so the grandparents here in China spend their lives raising the child. So when it comes to time of death, they may not want to move on. They want to stay with the child. And so what I do is the child will have bad dreams or something like that. And so we just do the prayer protection. We remove that attachment. Or if they have a fear, we do the prayer to remove emotional parasites, and we remove the fear immediately. So I'm blessed to be able to assist these young kids in clearing any unhealthy spiritual attachments they have with their relatives or anything like that, or previous lives. Fears are carried over from previous lives. So that's what I do in China.
Yeah, what's interesting is, Tim, I studied under Dolores Cannon and with the QHHT method, and the exact same thing that you're alluding to, previous lives and removing fears and traumas. We use QHHT in a very similar way. We move the patient to the somnambulistic state. There's right there, right in the theta, on the borderline of the theta and somnambulistic. So they're asleep, but they're not. The only thing that's keeping them awake is our voice. And then we move down through the past lives. Now we record this stuff so that they can hear themselves going through all these fabulous past lives. And then, after the patient has taken maybe a few breaths, we move to the higher self, the subconscious mind. And you can see the mannerisms of the person start to change. So once we pull the higher self out, it's interesting because it's an intelligent voice that's speaking, and it's not the actual client that's laying there. But this voice is such of a higher level of intelligence. And we ask them, can they remove the depression? Can they remove the cancer? Can they remove the anxiety? And they always give a reason why. Yes, no, we're working on it. We're reprogramming them. So I thought that was interesting to mesh that in with some of the things you were just saying.
Jason, that takes too long.
I know. I know.
Jason, to remove, you have a camera, right?
Yes.
You take pictures.
Yes.
And if you take a picture and it's a bad picture, it will stay on your camera for 20, 30, 40 years, or else you can go in and immediately remove that bad picture off your camera. The same thing with these fears and anxieties and bad feelings. They're in your subconscious mind as like a bad picture. And you can just go in 15 seconds and take it off just like that.
Absolutely.
And
That's
it
what I
works
want to
every
know.
time. It works. Well, would you like a demonstration?
Yeah, let's work on it. Let's give a demonstration for
Okay.
the audience. Okay, cool.
All right. Now, is there anything that bothers you? Do you have a fear of anything? Snakes? Snakes comes to mind. Usually my teachers, when I sit here and talk to you, the golden ones are working through me right now. So
Go
they
ahead.
guide me in questions.
I have a fear of low abundance.
Okay.
Not being as abundant because I felt like I was losing abundance at one point because I was learning all these different modalities. And I spoke to a lady who said, hey, your connection with source needs to be stronger. It's starting to get weaker. You're learning all these different modalities. So that would have to be a fear of mine is losing abundance.
Okay. All right. Here's the key to it. We're going to pull this out of your subconscious, and you may have many fears or anything, many things that you're not aware of. Yes. So you have to call this feeling into your conscious mind. So what you have to do is your subconscious mind is your solar plex, your third chakra. So you put your left hand above your navel on your third chakra. Mm-hmm. Okay. Your right hand on your heart. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, all you have to do is feel the fear or feeling that you want to get rid of, like low abundancy, and just know that you've got this feeling and you want to get rid of it. And you've got to bring this feeling into your conscious mind. And this is the key. And when you have it in your conscious mind, let me know. And then we're going to say some words to remove it.
I have it there.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay. All right. Repeat after me. This feeling is not mine.
This feeling is not mine.
This feeling does not belong to me.
This feeling does not belong to me.
I release this feeling in love.
I release this feeling in love.
Now and forever.
Now and forever.
Amen.
Amen. And it's gone.
All right, Jason, try and find that feeling now.
With the same hands in the same space?
No, just go to your conscious mind and search to see if you have that, if you still have that feeling.
It's not there. I would have to put it there, but it's not there.
Exactly. And if this works for fears of snakes, animals, heights, swimming, water, any fear or anything that was said, unhealthy abusiveness or unhealthy feelings you may have for another, you can remove these too. Anything like that. It comes off that easy.
But let's get into
Okay, the whole purpose is to clean your light body.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. And when your light body is clean, you vibrate at a higher frequency.
And we can use this for a number of fears, and you can do it daily. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, once you remove it, there's no need to do it again. It works. It's like a bad picture on your camera, on your phone. Once you remove it, the bad photo's gone. All right. Unless you want to put it back on, and you don't want to do that.
That's correct. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. I love talking about past life regression, UFOs, and I know that you're well versed on a lot of different topics. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was purpose. You know, the purpose of life for each soul coming to Earth. What's your take on that?
Okay. Well, no take on it. I'll tell you the truth on that.
Yes.
See, we are in the Milky Way galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Earth is a spiritual training school.
Yes.
There's many star systems out there that souls evolve to the highest level within their star system. And so they want to come and they want to train to be either an angel or a co-creator God for their love and support of God. So they purposely come to Earth to train to become a co-creator God, because in this universe, there's hundreds and billions of galaxies. And within each galaxy, like the Milky Way galaxies, there's hundreds and billions and trillions of stars. So God needs co-creator gods, like the golden ones, to go to a star system and become administrators of that star system. So souls come here to train, and they're the elite of their star system. Now, when they come here, they get a conscious and a subconscious mind. They don't have that before coming to Earth. It's activated. When a soul is created, the God characteristics are embedded in the soul's light body as raw emotions. They're God characteristics, but they haven't been developed yet. So when a soul comes to Earth and gets a conscious and subconscious mind, then they have life experiences to take these raw emotions and transmute them into God feelings and wisdom. So the purpose when a soul comes here is to use the conscious mind to discern wisdom. Once the conscious mind, what the conscious mind does is the conscious mind is like a video recorder. What it sees and what it hears and what it does, the conscious mind can only have one thought at a time. Whatever they're looking at, that's their only thought. Whatever they discern something is true, and it's a truth, it goes to the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Now, if there's something in the subconscious mind that is not a truth, then you have to remove it like a fear. When a fear gets into the subconscious mind, you have to go in and you remove it like we just demonstrated. So all the subconscious mind does is it holds the truth of the soul. And what the subconscious mind also does is, let's say that a soul has dreams and desires, and he formulates it in his mind what he wants to create, what he wants to desire. He puts his dreams then are recorded in his subconscious mind. And then the subconscious mind works with the universal mind to determine whether what the soul is desiring and dreaming is in accordance to universal law and the soul's path of becoming a co-creator God. So that's how, in a nutshell, that's how it works. So when a soul comes here, they have no memory of their prior accomplishments. They come here, and that's the purpose, because the soul has to learn from the ground level to training school to activate those raw emotions and to learn about universal law. Now, there's no sin. There are no sins in this earth training school, no sins, just karma. That's all you have is karma. And you cause karma when you abuse one of God's creatures. All life is of God. So when you abuse one of God's creatures, and I say creatures, flowers, plants, trees, animals, other human beings, you create karma. That's the only time you create karma. The other time, it's just you're learning wisdom through trial and error, and that's okay. To experiment whatever you want to experiment in while you're here. That's why a soul doesn't have to leave at the time of death. They have free will. If they want to stay, they stay. But they become trapped here unless someone releases them.
Yeah. And sometimes if they don't realize that they've died, they stay around for a while. But typically,
Exactly.
if they know that typically if they know that they're actually leaving, sometimes they cannot wait to get out of that avatar and get back home, which brings me to my next question. You know, I've read a number of books that suggest that souls, they come from God, a place where it's quiet, warm, quiet, comfortable, peaceful, the light. Is that your
Mhm.
interpretation on where souls come from?
You know, that's a good question, Jason, where souls come from.
Mm-hmm.
I I have not, I have thought about that. I have thought, does a soul evolve from an insect? Does it evolve from an animal? But I don't think that's true. Somehow a soul is created when the big explosion, and this is what I think the final answer is. We come from dust and we return to dust. When the universe was created billions of years ago, I think it was, I don't know, I think it was like our universe, 13.5 billion years ago, we became a particle of dust and we eventually evolved into a soul. That's when a soul was created. And we were created then from when the universe first created. We've been around for over umpteen billions of years. And so we come from dust, and then we start experiencing life as souls in many different situations, many different star systems, and so forth. I know that I've had experience with the Palladians, the Seven Sisters.
Yes.
So to be honest with you, I cannot say that where we came from. I just know that we're here now, and I can't give you a good answer on that one.
Well, according to Dolores Cannon in the Convoluted Universe, she's had a, you've probably heard of Dolores. She's got a number of books with the afterlife, speaking directly to souls, spirits. And in one of her books, it talks about souls actually, eh, the mirror process of what's happening here on earth is at a much more magnificent level in the spiritual realm. So God, in some sort of way, plans when these souls will be created, and they go through school. They go through a certain phase where they're trained while they're souls. And a lot of this information is in Dolores Cannon's book. So it's just fascinating to know that there's a number of avenues where you can kind of research this topic. And one of the biggest things, you got to wonder about Earth, since Earth is a training ground, why is there so much corruption here?
You want the answer?
I'd love it.
Thousands of years ago, over 10,000 years ago, women, the female energy, used to govern the planet. Women govern out of their feeling body, which is the heart of God. Men govern out of logic, which is the mind of God. So many years ago, 10,000 years ago, over 10,000 years ago, when women were governing Earth, our solar system is in the Milky Way galaxy. And what it does is it takes 25,920 years for our solar system to circle the galactic center. But the Milky Way is constantly moving through space, and Earth is moving with the galactic center through space. Sometimes, 10,000 years ago, it goes through different dimensions. When souls first initially come to Earth, there's 3 stages of soul development. The egoic stage, where souls are just thinking about me, 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 me. And then they evolve into the spiritual man stage, where they're getting over the me stage. They start learning about respect, family, responsibility to others, and so forth. And then eventually they get into the co-creator stage where they're working on becoming that spiritual being. So 10,000 years ago, Earth went through let's say, a collision where there was many changes on the Earth, earthquakes and so forth, disasters, and Earth went into a third dimension vibrational reality.
Mm-hmm.
The golden ones were teaching at that time in Atlantis. And when it moved to a third dimension frequency, vibrational frequency, the golden ones had to leave the planet and take their teachings, keep it away from Earth at that time.
Because we moved into a 3D. Because we moved into a third dimensional shift.
Yes, moved into third dimensional. At that time, the lower vibrational souls on the planet, which were men, took over governing. They start governing, and they thought they could do a better job than the women. A lot of people were lost, and so someone had to step forward, and so the men thought they could use their mind and become more adaptive governing and so forth. And then that's where you start getting the people who were in the low vibration. Their vibration is power, greed, abusiveness, selfishness, me.
Right.
And so since 10,000 years ago to 21 December 2012, when Earth, so they said it was the end of the Mayan calendar. It wasn't the end of the Mayan calendar. It might have been the end of one phase of the Mayan calendar, but it was the completion of Earth, of our solar system, completing the journey around the galactic center, and it moved into a fifth dimension reality since 21 December 2012. So Earth is now in a fifth dimension vibrational frequency. That's why the golden ones could come back. They contacted me back in October of 2012, and they joined me I was in southern New Zealand in meditation, and a group of spiritual beings joined my meditation. I didn't know who they were.
So you're saying right now? So you're saying right now we're in 5D?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We're in 5D now, and that's why you're seeing changes taking place on the planet. Now, it's been 10 years. So we're also in the golden age where people do not have to die. If you live a life of God consciousness, there's no need to die. There's no need to go back to school in between incarnations and learn what you did wrong. If you're consciously working towards doing the right thing and not abusing God's creations, you can stay here and continue to evolve in spiritual consciousness. So that's basically, so who's in charge of the planet now are the families from 10,000 years ago. They passed down that egoic, selfish mentality to the families and so forth. And so little by little, it's being replaced. You see uprisings all over the world now about how unfair the governments are, and they want changes, and the people want changes. And so changes are taking place, slow but sure. And I think you'll see the veil unraveling soon worldwide. I hate to say this, but I think when Donald Trump comes back, they're afraid of Donald Trump. Donald Trump gave the people a vision of what life could be without corruption. And the corrupt people around the world do not want Donald Trump back in power. They'll say many nasty things about him. They'll accuse him of this. They tried to impeach him 2 or 3 times. They do not want this man back in making changes for the good of the American people and for the good of the world, because he will expose the corruption. And when he exposes it, those that are exposed will either go to jail, they'll retire, they'll commit suicide. They're just souls. I mean, we have to look at them with compassion. Like, You know, it's like you're in the playground, and someone in the sandbox doesn't know how to play with the other kids, and they throw sand around. It just,
Well, that's how they look at it
don't.
when we leave, when we go back home. We're looked at as good job, even if it's a murder or if it's a war, if it's anything like that. You don't carry the matrix back home with you. This is not real. The reality that we're in, this third dimensional construct, is, it's a school, like you said a minute ago. It's a training ground. So our actions here on earth, obviously, we are developing karma, while we're here, but our actions, in regards to politics or religion, is not even thought of in the spiritual realm, to some degree.
But Jason, you do carry it over. You carry your karmic debt over from carnation
Yes, I
to
agree.
carnation.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why some people are born with disabilities, or there's the family has to go through caring for someone because of their karma and so forth. So
Yes.
karma, and what people don't understand is, where is the karma? The karma is stored in their physical body right now. Within your physical body, you have karma from many past lives that is recorded at cellular, negative imprints at cellular level in your body. And this has just recently been taught to me, and I've been practicing this, is I have to go to forgiveness. I have to think. What I do is, before I go to sleep at nighttime, I think of all the people in my life, and did I treat them fair? And if I'm not sure, I do the prayer of forgiveness for them. And when I do the prayer of forgiveness, an energy is released from my body. It's releasing like a sigh or a
Yes.
yawn. And
Yes.
it only happens, Jason, when I say the prayer for someone else in forgiveness for my actions towards them, whether I'm conscious of it or not. I bring them in, and something is released from my body when I go to forgiveness. So now, I was told, and I was told this 40 years ago, that I would never die. Now, I laughed at the time at my teachers because I thought they meant a spiritual death. And I know, the spirit never dies. But I'm finding that's not true now, that you can live forever. And they tell me we're in the golden age since 21 December 2012, where if you live in a consciousness of harmony, balance, order, and unity for the good of all, making the right decision in every moment for the good of the oneness of creation, you don't have to die. You don't have to die. Now, if you have a belief system that you're going to die, then you'll die. It depends on your belief system, what you
Yeah,
believe.
but yes, and the belief system that you just spoke of, how many of us really know what that is? And that would be a challenge in itself. Harmony, balance, just trying to get the masses to even understand that.
Well, I'm on your show.
and that's and that's why you have all this education. And but you know what, here's what I want to know about this training ground, this place that we call earth. As spirits, we're all here and we're training, and we're
Yeah.
actually speaking to a reflection of each other. We're just in different avatars because we're all the
Yes.
same. We're all, we're all we're one, we're oneness. But
We're
just
all child of God.
we're all the child of God, and we all resonate on the same frequency. That's why it's so interesting that we have crystals in our brain to, to hold these frequencies when we can channel, just like radios and TVs. And but what I want to talk
Computers.
about, and computers, but this training ground that we are a part of, we're here, and we know that it's a training ground. We know that we aren't humans, but we are in human avatars. So undoubtedly there'll be tests. There'll be tests here if you're in some sort of spiritual training ground. So I guess my question would be, are there really angels? Are there really devils?
Mm.
You know,
Oh, oh my goodness, yes. Oh my God, of course there's angels, but we have angels and spiritual teachers, but they cannot interfere with our free will
right.
unless we ask for their advice.
Yeah.
So if I'm working on something or if I want something, I'll ask my angels. Usually, angels will talk to you in your dream state by giving you a number.
Mm,
Like you'll go to a grocery store or fill your car up in your dream state. You'll get gas, and the gas will be 192 is your cost. And then you'll take that number and look up what 192 is, and that's how the angels talk to you. But they cannot help you unless you ask for their advice.
right.
So, but that's how the angels help you. You're always connected to you. Well, once you connect to universal mind, you're always in contact with universal mind, and you can ask your universal mind a double check on something. Like if I forget to where my keys are, I'll say, where did I leave my keys? And then I'll get a vision in my mind where I left my keys, and I'll go, oh my God, oh yeah, you're right, thank you. And I'll thank them. And they'll show me in my mind where I left my keys. Now the devil, yes, if there's a devil here, Lucifer, Archangel Lucifer
Right.
is a devil, and he is an archangel, and he works for God. And his mission is to train us, to tempt us in every moment, because we need to be pure of our and discipline of all of our God characteristics. So Lucifer's job is to tempt us with money, sex, sensual feelings, power, greed.
Did he
Um,
create the human ego?
no, the
Okay.
ego
Was that
is part.
Michael?
No, the ego is part of the training course here.
Okay. Okay.
That's just that's just part of the soul development. Every soul coming here starts in the first grade, which is the ego. All right, that is part of the soul development. I don't know if you know about Adam and Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware about Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
So when they never got kicked out of paradise, they came to earth to incarnate, to eat from the apple, apple's wisdom. They came here to learn wisdom. The snake says that if you eat that tree, from that tree you'll become like God, and that's why we're here. We're eating from the tree of knowledge. We're learning wisdom. When we learn wisdom, it goes into our subconscious mind. It goes into our light body, and when we have enough wisdom and our desires, and we have no fears, our manifestations, our dreams, they become a reality very quickly. Jason, I always get what I want. I don't ask for anything. I get what I want. If I need something for my course, for my children, I'll say, oh, it would be nice if I had this. I get it within a day or 2 days, or someone will donate it to me or give it to me and so forth. I always get what I ask for. I don't ask for a car or a house or money. I don't need anything because the golden ones always take care of me. I always guided, guarded, directed, and protected by the golden ones. So I
So
don't ask for anything unless I need it for someone else.
so Tim, what is the I know we've talked about a lot of different things, and I definitely want to get you back, and I want to talk. There's so many areas we could move in, but just you know, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the universal mind. So, what is the purpose of these things um, that we are as avatars? That we have the universal, the conscious, and the subconscious mind. But what is the true purpose?
Okay, so when God created the world, all he said was, let there be light.
Mhm.
True?
True.
Immediately, there was light. Here, the soul is learning because it's a third dimension and fifth dimension, it's a lower frequency. It doesn't, our words don't take action immediately unless unless we wanted to, and the power we put into it. I laugh at that. Um, but we're here in lower dimension because we don't really know what we want. So we have the opportunity to change our reality by contemplating and using discernment to see, is this what I really want? And I'll go out and I'll start creating something. And then I find out, oh, this isn't what I want. And I get to change my mind. So when you get to the other dimensions, the seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th dimension, when you say something, it becomes a reality immediately. It doesn't go through a slow process where you change your mind. So we're learning to speak and act in love in all our actions. So when we evolve to the next level of soul development, we're doing so consciously out of love and the oneness for the good of the oneness of creation. So things are slower here. Now, conscious mind, you create with your conscious mind.
Yes.
All right. You can't just, you have to think about it. There's several steps in manifesting. You've got to feel it. Feelings, you have to have that feeling like, oh my God, I want this. And this is where universal mind comes in place. When a soul starts to manifest something, universal mind will work with the subconscious mind on what were the feelings and intention of this desire.
Right.
If the feeling and desire is not for the good of the oneness of creation for all, universal mind will say, no, sorry, not going to synchronize anything to make that manifest. Also, we're here to train as co-creator gods. If there's any doubt in what you're desiring or manifesting, it's not going to happen because God does not have doubt about his manifestations or what it is he's creating. So if a soul says, well, I want this, but I don't know if I'm going to have the money. I don't know if I'm going to get this job at work. Universal mind will say, no, that's not going to manifest. Unless it will manifest, unless there's a karmic lesson involved in that manifestation. And then universal mind will synchronize the events to come together to make that manifestation become a reality.
Wow. Well, I tell you, man, we've run out of time here. These algorithms are crazy with YouTube. You go over 45 minutes, 40 minutes, you cannot get this thing to repeat and show. But this is a fabulous conversation, Tim. Fabulous conversation. We must do this again. And there are a lot of different topics I know you love to touch. But what I'd like, to see if you want to do, is there something you want to leave the audience with? Anything. And one thing you need to know about Tim is he's the founder of Path to Oneness. And let's just show your website here real quick so that the audience can get familiar with where you are. And we got it right here. Go ahead and share that. So let's talk about this a little bit. You have books. You have a store on here. There's the one store. You have meditation courses, guided meditation. Guys, check this out. Ascension Master courses that he sells, numerology reports, and
now a lot of those things, Jason, I don't sell. They're free.
Okay.
Okay. So there's courses on there like the Ascension Master program, a 28-day program. It's free.
Okay.
They just go in and they can download the program.
Okay. Hey, we got some stuff, and people love free, but free doesn't mean just free, but free means learn it and give Tim a call. Go on the website, hit his contact tab, and try to use some of these modalities and bring them into your life. And it's all about self-improvement. And when we learn different modalities, we want to be able to improve from them. But Tim, we really thank you. I thank you for coming on, and we need to really, really quickly get this thing back on track again, so you and I can have another conversation. Do you have anything you want to say to the audience before we go?
No, Jason, I appreciate the conversation. I don't get to talk to anybody that is as knowledgeable as you are, okay? So when I get a chance to talk and share the teachings of the Golden Ones, I'll jump at it. So anytime you desire another conversation, it'll be my pleasure.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to move you to the back office. You stay there. I got to get some stuff from you. Okay, 1 second. Fabulous. That was Tim Doyle, ladies and gentlemen. He's in China right now, a world-renowned spiritual teacher. Is very, very well versed on a number of different topics, including the subconscious mind, past life regressions, astral projection, Reiki Master. Tim does it all, but it was such a pleasure to have him come spend some time with us on the show today. And he will be back. I guarantee you. That's why I told him to hold on. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube at Expansion of Consciousness, at Expansion of Consciousness on YouTube. All right. We'll see you guys the next time. Take care. And we love you. Goodbye.